Jenny stepped out of her father's luxury sedan into the buzzing streets of Lagos. The humid air carried the smell of roasted corn, diesel fumes, and something else, something she couldn't name. She adjusted her designer backpack and tried to ignore the stares. Her driver followed close behind, but Jenny slowed as she noticed a thin girl crouched beside a rusted kiosk. The girl's hair was tangled, her clothes no more than rags. But her eyes were alive. She was scribbling equations in the dust with a broken stick, muttering numbers as if they were music. Jenny paused, fascinated. "You like maths?" Jenny asked. The girl looked up, startled. "I like to win," she replied. "Math helps me win." Jenny smiled awkwardly. "What's your name?" "Mia." Her voice was firm, as if her name was all she owned. Before Jenny could ask more, a group of street boys shouted at Mia to move. She rose, dusted her knees, and without a word, vanished into the crowd. Jenny felt a pang she couldn't explain. That night, as she sat at her mahogany desk surrounded by textbooks she didn't understand, she thought of Mia's quick mind. Her own grades had been slipping, and the pressure from her father was suffocating. Could that street girl really be smarter than her? The next day, Jenny returned to the same spot. The kiosk was there. The crowd was there. But Mia was gone. As she turned to leave, a folded piece of paper fluttered to her feet. On it was a neatly written equation far beyond her level and a note. "Find me if you can." Jenny's search for Mia took 3 days. On the 4th afternoon, she spotted her under a flyover, sitting cross-legged with a group of boys playing a game with bottle caps. "Mia," Jenny called. The girl looked up warily. Jenny held up a packet of meat pies. "Peace offering." They ate in silence until Jenny finally asked, "Will you teach me?" Mia raised an eyebrow. "Teach you what?" "Math." "I'm failing." Mia laughed, but there was no cruelty in it. "You've got books. I've got brains. Let's trade." And so it began. 2 girls from different worlds, meeting in secret, scribbling formulas on scrap paper, hiding under bridges to avoid curious eyes. Jenny's grades improved rapidly. Mia, in turn, learned to use a laptop Jenny had secretly brought. One afternoon, Jenny asked, "Why do you like math so much?" "It's fair," Mia replied. "Numbers don't care if you're rich or poor." Jenny thought about that long after she left. Later that night, Jenny's father, a stern man with a voice like thunder, summoned her. "Who's teaching you?" he asked, his eyes sharp. Jenny froze. She hadn't told a soul about Mia. "Because," he continued slowly, "whoever it is, they're in danger." Jenny's father's words rattled her. "What do you mean, in danger?" But he only said, "Stay away from whoever's been helping you," and dismissed her. Jenny ignored him. She met Mia the next day, trying to keep her voice light. "My dad's suspect something." Mia frowned. "Then we need to be careful." Careful became their new normal, changing meeting spots, avoiding patterns, and using coded notes. But secrecy was heavy, and Jenny couldn't shake the feeling that her father knew more than he said. One evening, Mia didn't show. Hours later, Jenny found her in an alley, sitting against a wall, clutching her arm. "What happened?" Jenny cried. "Some men, they thought I stole from them," Mia whispered. Jenny helped her up and promised she'd be safe. But as they left, a shadow detached itself from the corner. A man in a dark suit stepped forward. "Mia," he said, "your father's been looking for you." Mia froze. "I don't have a father." The man smiled thinly. "You do. And he's rich, richer than your friends." Jenny's mind spun. Then why is she living on the streets? "That's a story for another day," the man replied. "But right now, you need to come with me." Mia stepped back. "I'm not going anywhere." The man sighed, reached into his pocket, and pulled out a photograph. Mia's hands shook as she took it. Jenny caught a glimpse, Mia as a toddler, sitting on the lap of a smiling, well-dressed man. "That's not me," Mia said, but her voice was trembling. The man's tone hardened. "Your father will pay to have you back. Think about it." He melted into the crowd, leaving only the photograph behind. Jenny whispered, "Mia, is it true?" Mia didn't answer. She just tore the picture in half and walked away. The next morning, Jenny's father was waiting at the breakfast table, holding the same photograph. Jenny stared at the photo in her father's hand. "Where did you get that?" "From a man who claims to know your friend," he said calmly. "He offered me money to bring her to him." Jenny's stomach dropped. "You're not going to." "I haven't decided," he interrupted. "But I know her real name. And it's not Mia." Jenny spent the day restless, replaying every conversation she'd had with Mia. That evening, she confronted her under the glow of a flickering streetlight. "Mia, tell me the truth." Mia hesitated. "My name was Amara, once. My father was a businessman. But she broke off, swallowing hard. "He killed my mother. I ran." Jenny's blood went cold. "Then who was that man in the suit?" Mia's eyes darkened. "His brother. And if he's here, it means they've found me." A shout echoed from the street behind them. They turned to see two figures running toward them. One was the man in the suit. The other was Jenny's father. Jenny grabbed Mia's hand and they ran. Footsteps pounded behind them, closer and closer. The market ahead was crowded, a chaos of shouts, smells, and colors. They weaved through stalls of plantains and yam, ducking behind a cart piled with oranges. Jenny risked a glance back. Her father and the suited man were forcing their way through the crowd. "Why is my father helping him?" Jenny gasped. Mia's jaw clenched. "Because he owes them something. And they're using me to collect." They darted into a narrow alley, breathless. But before they could hide, a black SUV screeched to a stop at the other end. Two men jumped out, blocking their escape. "Run!" Mia shouted, shoving Jenny toward the opposite side. Jenny scrambled away, heart hammering. By the time she turned back, Mia was gone, dragged into the SUV. That night, Jenny's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "Stay out of this, or you'll lose more than your friend." Jenny didn't listen. The next morning, she searched her father's study. In a locked drawer, she found a thin leather-bound ledger filled with neat, cramped handwriting. At first, it looked like business records, until she saw the names. Many were crossed out. Others had notes beside them. "Paid in full, still owes, gone." One name caught her eye, Amara Kalu, $7 million, outstanding. Jenny's mind raced. Her father owed Mia's family, or maybe Mia's family owed her father. When her father entered the room, Jenny shoved the ledger into her backpack before he could see. That night, she met with a trusted teacher at school, Mr. Dyke, and showed him the book. His face paled as he flipped through the pages. "These are debt records," he whispered. "But some of these, they're not financial debts. They're human ones." Before Jenny could ask what he meant, the lights in the classroom went out. A voice from the darkness said, "You shouldn't have shown him that." Meanwhile, Mia sat in a dim room, wrists bound, facing the suited man. "You've made things difficult," he said, sipping tea as if they were old friends. "I'm not going back," Mia spat. He smiled. "Oh, you misunderstand. Your father doesn't want you. He's dead. I want you because you're worth money. Your mother's will. Remember that." Mia froze. She'd never read the will, only heard whispers about hidden assets. "I'll make you a deal," he continued. "Sign over your rights, and I'll let your friend live." Mia's eyes narrowed. "You've touched Jenny?" He chuckled. "Not yet. But your father's debt to hers, it ties you both together." From the corner of her eye, Mia spotted a rusted nail sticking from the wall, just within reach of her bound hands. She started sawing at the rope, praying she'd have time. The man leaned closer. "Choose, Mia. Your life or hers." Jenny woke in her bedroom to find an envelope on her desk. Inside was a photo of Mia, tied to a chair. Scrawled across it, "Tell your father you found the ledger and she dies." Her phone buzzed. Mr. Dyke's name flashed on the screen. His voice was urgent. "Jenny, we have to meet. I've discovered something about that ledger." They met in a quiet cafe. He slid a newspaper across the table, an old clipping about a charity scandal involving her father and a man named Kalu. "This wasn't about money," Mr. Dyke said. "It was about smuggling people under the cover of charity shipments." Jenny's stomach churned. And Mia's family? They tried to stop it, he replied. That's why her mother was killed. Jenny's hands shook. Then my father. Before she could finish, a loud crack split the air. The cafe window shattered. Mr. Dyke slumped forward, blood spreading across his shirt. Screams erupted. Jenny froze, staring at Mr. Dyke's lifeless body. A man in a motorcycle helmet burst into the cafe, grabbed her arm, and hissed, "If you want to live, come with me." Against every instinct, she followed him out the back. They weaved through alleys until he shoved her into a battered car. Only when the helmet came off did she gasp. Mia? Mia grinned, breathless. It worked. The nail trick. Jenny threw her arms around her. We have to go to the police. No, Mia cut in. The police aren't on it. We need to disappear. Jenny hesitated. And my father? Mia's expression darkened. He's not who you think he is. He's the reason my mother's dead. Jenny's world tilted. You're lying. Mia reached into her pocket and pulled out a crumpled photo. It was her mother standing beside Jenny's father, both smiling. Jenny couldn't tear her eyes from the photograph. That's impossible. My father would never. He already did, Mia said sharply. He worked with my uncle. They made money together until my mother tried to stop them. She died for it. Jenny's throat tightened. Then why keep me alive? Because your leverage, Mia replied. They moved quickly through the night, hitching a ride in the back of a fish truck heading out of the city. The stench was suffocating, but it kept prying eyes away. By dawn, they reached a rural town far from the glittering skyline of Lagos. Mia led Jenny to an abandoned church she had once used as shelter. For the first time in days, Jenny felt a flicker of safety until she saw the words scrawled across the wall in dripping red paint. Debt must be paid. Both of you. While searching the church for supplies, they stumbled upon an elderly man sweeping dust from the pews. You're back, he said, looking at Mia. And you brought trouble. Mia's jaw tightened. Pastor Joseph, we need your help. The old man sighed. You're running from men you can't outrun, but perhaps you can outsmart them. He led them to a trapdoor under the altar, revealing a narrow tunnel. This will take you to a safe house 2 towns over. But you must travel at night. Jenny felt hope for the first time. They rested until dark, then slipped into the tunnel. Halfway through, Jenny noticed fresh footprints in the dirt, too large to be theirs. Someone's ahead of us, she whispered. A voice echoed from the darkness. Took you long enough. It was the man in the suit, blocking the tunnel's exit. They were trapped. The tunnel walls pressed in, and the suited man smiled like a predator. You can't keep running, he said. But I'm willing to make an exchange. Jenny's pulse pounded. What kind of exchange? He gestured at Mia. Her for you. You come back with me, and I'll let her go. Mia shook her head fiercely. Don't even think about it. Jenny hesitated. She couldn't let Mia fall into his hands, but could she trust him to keep his word? Before she could decide, a dull thud echoed through the tunnel. The man in the suit staggered, eyes wide, and collapsed. Behind him stood Pastor Joseph, holding a rusted pipe. You girls need to run faster, he grunted. They scrambled past the unconscious man toward the exit. But when they emerged into the night air, a row of black SUVs lined the road. Armed men surrounded them before they could flee. A tall figure stepped from the lead SUV, Jenny's father. Enough games, he said coldly. Get in the car. Jenny's voice shook. You killed her mother. His eyes narrowed. You've been listening to lies. Mia spat at his feet. We saw the truth. Her defiance earned her a blow from one of the men, and Jenny lunged forward in rage, only to be restrained. They were shoved into separate vehicles. Through the tinted glass, Jenny watched Mia's car turn down a different road. Where are you taking her? Jenny demanded. Her father's voice was calm. Somewhere she'll be useful. Jenny's blood turned to ice. And me? He gave a faint smile. You're going to meet someone who's been waiting a very long time. The car drove for hours into the countryside before stopping at a secluded compound. Jenny was led into a lavish living room where a woman in a silk wrapper sat by the fireplace. Her smile was warm, but her eyes were sharp. "You've grown," the woman said softly. Jenny frowned. "Do I know you?" The woman chuckled. "Not yet. But I knew your mother." Jenny's breath caught. "My mother's dead." "She is," the woman agreed. "And she died because of the same men chasing you now. But she left me something your father's been hiding from you." From a locked drawer, the woman pulled a folder and slid it across the table. Inside was a birth certificate. Jenny's eyes widened as she read the father's name. It wasn't her father's. Jenny's heart hammered as she stared at the name. "This isn't possible." The woman nodded. "Your mother was already pregnant when she married the man you call father. He raised you as his own, but you're the daughter of Chaikalu, Mia's father." Jenny's head spun. "That makes Mia my sister?" "Yes," the woman said gently. "Half-sister. Which is why he's been so desperate to keep you apart. Together, you could claim everything he's stolen." Jenny felt both sick and furious. Her whole life had been built on lies. "Where's Mia now?" she asked. The woman's expression darkened. "With the people who killed her mother. And they won't let her go alive." Jenny clenched her fists. "Then we're getting her back." The woman handed her a key. "This opens your father's private safe. Inside, you'll find proof that will destroy him." But as Jenny turned to leave, the woman said quietly, "One warning, when you see what's inside, you may wish you hadn't." Jenny returned to the city under cover of night, sneaking into her father's study. The safe was hidden behind a false wall panel. Inside were stacks of cash, passports under different names, and a set of photographs. The first showed her father shaking hands with men in military uniforms. The second was worse. Her mother, bound to a chair, fear in her eyes. Jenny's knees buckled. Written on the back in neat handwriting, she knew too much. Her stomach twisted. He had killed her mother. She stuffed the photos into her bag and turned to leave, only to find her father standing in the doorway, gun in hand. "I warned you, Jenny," he said quietly. "Now you've left me no choice." Before he could fire, the window behind him shattered. Mia burst through, swinging a metal pipe that sent the gun skittering across the floor. "You owe me," Mia panted, helping Jenny up. "How did you find me?" Jenny gasped. "Your friend, Pastor Joseph. He's not as slow as he looks." They fled the house and stole a motorbike from the alley. As they sped through the night, Mia explained that she'd escaped her captors when a fight broke out among them. Jenny told her everything she'd learned, including the truth about their father. Mia's expression hardened. "Then we finish this. Together." But as they approached the city outskirts, a truck blocked the road. The man in the suit stepped out, flanked by armed men. The suited man smiled. "You two caused a lot of trouble. But I'm a businessman. I like to settle debts." Jenny stepped forward. "You want money? Take it. I have proof of everything. Sell it, and you'll have more than you can count." He laughed. "I don't want money, girl. I want control. And the easiest way to get it is to own both of you." Mia spat at his feet. "Over our dead bodies." His smile widened. "That can be arranged." Gunfire erupted, not from his men, but from behind them. Pastor Joseph appeared with a small group of villagers armed with machetes. Chaos broke out. Jenny and Mia fought their way to the truck, but just as they climbed inside, their father appeared, gun raised, aimed at Mia. Time slowed. Jenny didn't think, she just moved. She stepped in front of Mia as the gun fired. Pain tore through her shoulder, but she stayed on her feet. Pastor Joseph's men swarmed their father, disarming him. The suited man lay dead on the ground, the fight finally over. As the sun rose, Jenny sat beside Mia, her arm bandaged. "It's over," Mia whispered. Jenny shook her head. "No. We still have to make them pay." They handed the photographs and ledger to a journalist Pastor Joseph trusted. Within weeks, the story exploded, and the empire their father had built crumbled. But victory came with a cost. Jenny received a letter from prison, written in her father's hand. "You may think you've won, but blood debts never truly end. And remember, I'm not the only one you share blood with." Mia read it twice, her face pale. "Jenny, there's someone else. Another sibling. And they're still out there. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to get notified on each drop. I would love to have you back.